What's up, everybody? We're back. I'm George Mossey. This is my co-host, Heather C. Unexpected Season 5, Episode 7, Part 2 of the podcast. So we saw Tierra and her, well, first of all, she's fine. Let's just start off where we ended the episode last week. So Tierra was going to the hospital. There was an issue with oxygen and her iron. Everything is fine. There's nothing to worry about. The baby is healthy. She has her C-section date set. And we even found out that Tyra has apologized to Tierra for what happened back in Kentucky. Everything is good there. So let's just start off there to make sure that everyone's on the same page. And we also found out that their mom, Melissa, will be there with Tierra for the birth in Maryland. And she's even staying 2 weeks to help with the baby. So everything is good there. The only issue that arose was there was a issue with the baby nursery theme. So there's a theme. It's called Boho. So bear with me here. It looks like older, like vintage type toys, right? It kind of looks like toys and stuff that are made out of wood. And it kind of has a rustic look to it, right?
Yeah, like the boho chic is kind of like the artsy type like the ones that just it's modern. It's the kind of
Okay.
like modern yet chic, but not like so much city girl. Like I don't know. It's just it's
Well,
easier to just say it than to explain
right.
it.
The girls say that it's very popular. It's the number
Yes.
one type nursery things that people are buying now, which I
Yes.
didn't know. So
Very New
there's
Yorkish. New York chic.
okay, New York chic. So
Yes.
okay, so the issue is Tierra and Taylor both are using the same theme, and we can't figure out whose idea it was first because Tierra says it was her idea and it was stolen by Taylor. Taylor says that she had the idea months before it even got into Tierra's head, and there's this huge social media fight, and it kind of spilled outside of the nursery because they were saying like, oh, well, this has happened with them stealing boys and taking things from each other, and it's always a competition, and it kind of got really ugly all over social media. And this is family talking about family and posting terrible things. And now there's a situation where Taylor's about to give birth and they don't know if Tierra and Tyra, everybody's going to be there for her for the birth because people aren't on speaking terms. And this is really terrible because there's two girls who are pregnant, both raised very close. There's a very close knit family. And then right before giving birth, everyone is on non speaking terms.
Okay, so in my opinion, just watching their family for the last couple of years, I feel like they're very tight knit. I think that even though they're having this family scuffle over something as small as the nursery, and like Taylor's mom had said, that was just like the icing on the cake. That was just kind of like the thing that opened Pandora because um you can only take so much for so long before you just kind of like explode. But I think wholeheartedly that if one of them were to have gone into labor, get sick, something God forbid would happen, I really believe they would put all that crap aside and come together as a family. I mean, they were all basically raised together. I mean, even their family picture had all the boys in it and the kids in it and all I mean, it's just generation after generation after generation, and they're all so tight with each other. So I know that right now there's probably a lot of emotions that ran wild, but I think just like she said, like in the last episode that we watched when she was upset about the car situation, they weren't speaking then, but
That's,
she made it to the hospital,
yeah.
and they're back being close again. So I just think that, people that love each other go through these times in their lives, but they always come together in the end. So I think if she does go into labor, she will have the support of her family. I really wholeheartedly believe that.
I believe you. I feel like that's true. I feel like the differences will go aside. It's more important, like they were saying, their children are super close. They don't want to punish their children for any drama they're having. They still want their children to be able to see each other and talk to each other. So I feel like you're right. So I want to talk about Kylan and Jason. So they were missing from the episode last week. And there's finally a family barbecue. And Kylan's family gets invited by Jason's parents. And the barbecue is a time for them to spend time with each other. And it got awkward. There wasn't a lot of conversation. And like 20 minutes into the barbecue, Jason decides that it's time for him and Kylan to leave. And that really built a lot of tension. And then Kylan wasn't really ready to go. First of all, she wasn't even finished eating. She was still eating. There was food on her plate. She hadn't even been sitting down 10 minutes. And he's like, all right, let's get ready to go. And her parents are super shocked because they drove all the way there just to see their daughter. And Jason knew about this for weeks. And he decides that they should leave. And he even asked her to go to the bathroom with him so he could talk to her privately, which is exactly what her parents were trying to tell us. They can't speak to her and just speak to her. It's always someone in her ear helping her make decisions. And I really feel like he's shutting out her parents who don't really want anything negative in the relationship. They don't have any ill will towards him. They don't speak to him badly. They don't treat him badly. So I don't really understand why he wants to shut them out of their lives when they're only being supportive.
You know, I first of all want to say this is no disrespect to either of the two, Jason or Kylan. I this really bothered me. This part of the episode really bothered me because I can tell that he generally loves her. He's protective over her. He's protective over his little family, but I can't put my finger on it. He has both parents in his life that seem to love him, support him, take care of him, but I don't know what it is as why he's so controlling. Like he's like, okay, so I'm going to go to my friend's house and you're going to come with me, or I'm going to do this and you're going to do this and you're not going to talk to them. Like that's the part that I can't wrap my head around, because it's like all she wants to do is spend time with her family. She's not even saying that she wants to move back in with them. She's just saying, let me have this hour, 2 hours at a barbecue at your house, you know, with your parents. And, you know, I feel for his parents. I feel for them to the point where they're just ready to throw their hands up in the air and say, I give up. And, you know, a lot of people are probably going to be very critical over this episode. A lot of people are probably going to be like, well, that's your kid. You should do this. No, it's easier said than done when you're in the household. You know, everybody is different. Everybody raises their children differently. And you don't know the situation. These kids are 17, 18, whatever years old. You get to a point where you have to let them learn their lesson, whether it's right or wrong. They're showing him love and respect because he's in the household. He's not, retrieving that back by, being disrespectful to his parents, saying all those hurtful things to his dad, because that's bad. I hope that he, looks back on this and is like, wow, I wouldn't want my kid to talk to me that way. So, I just really think that they have a lot of growing up to do. And I really hope he matures before this child is born. Because what if I feel, and I'm just saying it, what if he has this jealousy when his child is born?
Well, we've actually seen that in relationships where the guy is like, well, you spend so much time with the child, I don't get any attention. And,
Yes.
and it does happen in relationships, and the guy feels like he's being abandoned. He's not getting the attention that he deserves. And that is very possible. And there seems to be some sort of emotional trauma that Jason went through. And, I'm not a doctor, but it just seems like he has a fear of not having Kylan with him all the time.
Yeah.
And, sometimes it's good when you're in a relationship, if your wife or your husband wants to go see their family, let them go without you. Sometimes it's good to let people do things on their own. Like if you don't want to be around her parents, she can be around her parents. Give her that time. You go with your friends. She can go with her family. And, sometimes it's good to give them their own identity, their own personal time and space. And that's what he's lacking, personal time and space. He doesn't want to give Kylan. And I understand when you love someone, you want to spend every waking moment with them. And he even asked her to go to the bathroom with him to pee, and I feel like the space that he wants from her it's not feasible. It's too much of her time. It's all of her time. And he's even controlling who she can see and speak to and be around. And I'm just worried. I'm worried for her because that type of isolation doesn't have a good effect on your mental and emotional state. And I know that he loves her and I know that he wants to protect her, but he doesn't need to protect her from her parents, and that's just, I wish I knew what it was, and I wish he could see how it is affecting her. She's hurt. When she left to leave her parents, her dad said, I could see that she wanted to start crying. She didn't want to leave. And it's just,
I saw that too.
I don't want to see anyone feel that way. And at 17 years old, she should be able to see her parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, she should be able to be there. And with a baby coming on the way and her dad being ill, this isn't a lot to ask.
It really isn't. So, I mean, the season isn't over yet. It
It's not
really
over yet, exactly. And her parents are being vocal, which I'm very happy about that. They're telling them and Jason how they feel, and it's possible they can get through to him. So we will see as the season goes on how this goes. All right, guys, that's it for part 2. We will be back next week to see what happens on the next episode. I did see that Kylan will be going into labor next week on the episode. I don't know if the birth will happen next week, but she will be going into labor. Another baby being born this season. So exciting. I'm George Mossey. This is my co-host, Heather C. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you're live tweeting with us every Sunday night, and we will talk to you all really soon.
Bye. Happy Easter.